Okay, let us share the screen now. Okay, can you see the screen now? It's visible? Neha? Manish? Screen is visible? Can you see the slides? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
So in the last class, we discussed the very basic things and introduction part in that. And now let's go for the, the classification of survey. There are two types of classification. One is a primary classification, another one is a secondary classifications. So what is there in the primary classification or primary division of the survey? Okay, right. That's the first one is the plane surveying. Next one is the geodetic surveying. Okay, so here in the curvature of the earth, in the plane surveying, it's the curvature of the earth is not taken into the consideration, especially in the plane table surveying. When it comes to the geodetic surveying, so curvature of the earth is considered. That's a very good point. Actually, we need to consider it. We need to, make the necessary correction, rectification of the curvature of the earth. So when you take the, the picture of the earth from the aerial view, there is undulating topography, and also there is, earth is completely, curved. So that rectification, corrections, I mean what you call it, geodetic corrections, you have to make it. Okay. So in the next point of the plane surveying, in a plane surveying, generally line joining any 2 points of triangle. Okay. Now the triangles very well. Line joining of any 2 points of triangle formed by any 3 points, and it should be considered as a straight line. 2 points joining is a one line. Okay, that's how the things. If you join the 3 points, that's called a triangle. That's a very simple one. As a straight line and plane triangle are assumed to be a plane angles. Okay, so in the geodetic surveying part, so line joining of 2 points triangle formed by the 3 points is considered to be the curved line of spherical triangle, and these angles of triangles considered to be spherical angles. Okay, right. So here plane means there is no angles, anything there, but here we need to consider that curvature of the earth. That's the most important in geodetic surveying. Okay, and third point of plane surveying, this survey is done on smaller areas. It's about less than 250 square kilometer. Okay, not more than that. Okay, 200 to 250 square kilometer. Okay, we cannot do bigger area for that. Okay, when it comes to the geodetic surveying, this survey can be done on the large areas greater than 50 square kilometer. Very big areas you can do that. That's why it's a most advantages. It's a more benefits from the geodetic surveying than the plane surveying. Okay, so it requires accuracy is comparatively very low, less accuracy in the plane surveying, very less accuracy. When it comes to the geodetic, it's a high accuracy. Most of the people will go for, they're going and they're going for the geodetic surveying only, because it it gives the more accuracy. In survey part, accuracy is the most important. Error, without error to do the surveying. Even if you done some error or a mistakes in the surveying part, you need to you rectify at the same time. Don't wait for the end of the your survey day. So that will accumulate in more way, and it's very difficult to rectify it, because if you get the 10-degree of error in your polygon, and you need to distribute that error into the entire the stations. Okay, that is very difficult part. Okay, that we need to take care of that. Okay, and the last point is a simple method and the instruments. It can be what you call this simple methods and instruments can be used as the required accuracy low. Okay, but in Geodetic surveying, very refined methods and instruments are used here. Very well refined methods, we are using the instrument. Okay. So now this is not much of visible here. Okay, the drawing is, this is a plane surveying this one. I think this clarity is not there. And here you can is the floodplain survey of the, of the areas. And okay, so this is a highway and this is Township Road. Okay, right. And yeah, just a minute. Right. Right. So here is the, what do you call this? Yeah. This is, I know, the plain land, and this is a highway, country highway, and it's a township somewhere else here. Okay. Right. This is not a fun land. Okay. This is geodetic survey. This is a plain land, what we are talking about. Plain survey. Okay. So when it comes to the geodetic survey, it's a curved surface. Earth is, curvature. This is called a curved one. That we need to consider it. This is actually the height of this, and this is actually horizontal plane. It's a horizontal plane of the ground, and it's a topography. Maybe undulating topography, or it may be a straight line. Okay, this is a distance between the point of the horizontal line and this angle. Alpha is the angle of this is triangles. Okay? This is completely called the topography, which is how it looks like in the earth, surface of the earth. It is not perfectly in the plain land. Maybe undulating topography, maybe hill, valleys, small valleys, mountains, and in between there will be a river, small streams. Okay, those things are very, very important when you are going to do the surveying. Okay, any part of the survey. Okay, right. So now let's come to the secondary classification. First, primary classification is the two major things. That's one is plane surveying and geodetic surveying. In the plane surveying, earth curvature, you are not going to consider it. When it comes to the geodetic surveying, earth curvature, you need to consider it seriously. Right? That's a basic point. Okay. And when next, so secondary classification. What are those secondary classifications? So in the secondary classifications, there are different, the background and the database. The first one is called based on instrument. Got it? In the secondary classification, based on the instrument, that's a one point. Second point is based on the method. How you are going to do that? By using the instrument. And third one is that based on objects for which you are going to do the survey, for what type of the task. Okay, then based on the nature of field. See, and then in the topographical survey, cadastral survey, and city survey, there are different on this. Okay, so here in the secondary classifications, based on the instruments we have classified. Yes, this is a chain survey, compass survey, plane table survey, Theodolite survey, Tachymetric survey, photographic survey, and leveling. You got it? So based on the instrument, based on the existing instruments, we are going to classify the survey part. And when it comes to the base, the survey methods, based on the methods also we can classify. One is triangulation survey. Second one is the traverse survey. What is the difference between the triangulation and traverse survey? So triangulation survey means if you take the any area of 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. Okay, 1 kilometer is in the x-axis, 1 kilometer in the y-axis. It's in the closed space, length and width. If you want to survey that, there are two methods. Either you can do the traverse, between the every 100-meter interval grid. You can do the survey. That is the one part. In a triangulation method, you can divide the entire area into a different triangle. Make it different triangle. Generally, when you do in the 3 dimensions figures, 3-dimension sketch, when you are going to take the the volume calculations, triangular irregular network. That means the entire area it's going to divide it and break up into the different triangles. Maybe a small, it may be a big one. This is how you can classify and divide a diversal. Yes, the entire area into triangulation. That's the one thing. The other one is traverse. Make every 100-meter or 50-meter interval grid. You can do the traverse, and you can finish the survey. Okay, and based on the objects, the one is geological survey. What the geologists are doing the survey in the field. Randomly they are traversing one thing. Another thing, there is a survey lines, especially in the specific the working areas. Say for example 1 kilometer by 500 meter, 1 kilometer by half a kilometer. There is a specific areas. Within that, you need to make the 100-meter or grid interval. So you can traverse all along those exploration lines. You can do the survey. Okay, or else you can do the entire random survey in the specific areas. Okay, that is the thing. And next is the mine survey. Mine survey is already known places. That means it's a specific mining area. Within the boundary, you have to do the mining. Different geologies, different benches, where they are excavating the mine, the waste, where they are excavating the ore. Okay, and at the end of the month, they are going to do the survey, mine survey. What they are doing in the mine survey? They are going to, assess, estimate that what is the production from this month. So by doing the, elevation, what was the elevation in the last month and what is now there? How much they have extracted the materials. That's the one type of survey. And for that same mine, they are going to do the another method called production survey. Sorry, production, how much production. Maybe, 10,000 or 20,000 tons of ore is extracted from this particular place. Okay, if you survey it, from the survey, it should be the 10,000 ton only. Okay, from the one place, you are extracted the material, that is the 10,000 tons for the last month. If you survey that area by a volume wise and convert it into the, multiply with the volume into multiply with the, bulk density, you will get the tonnage. That should be the matching areas. That is a mine survey. Okay, and archaeological survey. Just a minute. Sorry for that. When it comes to the archaeological survey, this is another type of survey which we are is a central government organization. They are doing generally for archaeological historical places, hidden historical monuments which are beneath under the earth. Those things they are going to do the survey part. That's called an archaeological survey. Okay, and engineering survey, it covers, that is your civil surveys, maybe agriculture land, or it may be a tunnel survey, road survey, highways, or it may be a railway, or it may be a reservoir, or it may be dam construction area surveys. That's completely engineering survey. That's based on the objects we are going to classify. It's based on the instruments we are going to classify the survey. Based on the method how you are going to conduct the survey, by a triangulation method, by a traverse method, okay, based on the nature of the field. That is another type of classifications. So one is land survey, another one is a hydrological survey, next one is astronomical survey. This is how we are going to do the classification of survey part. Okay, do you understand this? Madan Kumar, Kushal, Hitesh Gowda,
Yes, sir.
do you understand this? The classification of survey.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's a very simple concept. First you need to understand this. When you go to the next semester, there will be advanced surveying. Okay, this basic surveying concept is very, very important. This is a base for you. It's a fundamentals. If you understand this, definitely there will not be much difficulty in the advanced surveying, as well as in the survey lab, as well as in the survey camp. Okay, independently you have to do the survey. Okay, that's how the things. Divyasri,
Yes,
Dhananjay?
sir.
Yes. Okay, Adikesh, you're ready. Shiv Prasad?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir, sir.
got it. Shraddha Patil?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tarun?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Varsha? Varsha,
Yes, sir.
do you agree this? Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right, that's great. So let's go to the next part. So for we discuss the classification, primary classification and the secondary classification of the survey. Okay, I can recap this: plain surveying and geodetic surveying. These two are the primary classifications. We are not going to much about this. It's about the curvature of the earth and plain land. Okay, right. So when it comes to the secondary classification, there are many, the individual, what you call different classification based on the instrument what you have. Chain survey, compass survey, plane table survey, theodolite, and even one more called as a total session survey. Also, you can put it here. It's missed from the slides. Theodolite survey, tachymetric survey, photographic survey, and leveling. So from the chain surveying, accuracy will be there, but you need to take care of that accuracy properly. You have to do properly. But olden days, they used to do the, through the chain survey only, huge land, very big area, they have done the surveying part. And even with the compass and chain survey, they did the many, the survey of India. Before, 1995 or 1970, they did the survey for this, for the entire country, for the entire India. They did the survey. That's called, Geological Survey of India. It's a central government organization, and they used to carry out the survey for entire India. From that department, they are producing the, survey, topo sheets. The Geological Survey of India, they are used to do the compass survey along with the geological survey. That's the one part. And before that, the Survey of India, that's another organization. Geological Survey of India is to carry out the survey for investigate, to identify the minerals. For Survey of India, they used to carry out the survey to survey completely of the surface of the earth. It may be valley, hill, or it may be bushes, or it may be a town, road, railways, tunnels, reservoir, dam construction areas, historical places, working mines, old working mines, abandoned mines. Okay, almost all the things they are going to survey, whatever you can see on the surface of the earth. That is your topography. That is your, topology of the areas. Those things they have done the survey with a chain or compass survey at the earlier days, maybe 50, 70, 80 years back. Okay. After that, we go to the theodolite on dumpy level and auto levels. Okay. Then tachymetry is come. Then what you call the your total session, that is the latest one. Okay. Then photographic surveying, that is the aerial survey that we did, we discussed in the last class. Aerial survey, how we are going to do the aerial survey and all those things. Photography survey means it's an aerial survey. Either you can do with a drone or you can do with a what you call aeroplane. Okay, that's the thing. And the levelings. Okay, and based on the methods, triangulation survey method and traverse methods, you can conduct as per your convenient and the requirement of the task. Okay, and based on the objects, geological, mine survey, and archaeological survey, and engineering survey. Engineering survey covers almost all your civil engineering part. Like I told you that road, building, layout, town planning, you know, um, irrigation, or it may be in the reservoir, maybe in the tunnel, road, everything it comes in the engineering survey. Geological survey only for the concern to the geologist, only there. For mine survey, it is restricted only for the particular mining areas. Archaeological survey is restricted for the historical monuments, hidden, the monument in the subsurface. Engineering survey covers the most of the areas which you are going to study in the 4 years. Okay? Based on the nature of the field, a land survey, or it may be hydrological survey, or it may be astronomical survey. Right? So, in the secondary classifications, and the land survey is further classified into the different classes. Land survey. There is a, maybe you might have heard the cadastral survey and city survey. Topographical survey, you know that to determine the natural features of the country, such as a valley, I told you this, such as a valley, rivers, artificial features, such as roads, railways, dam construction, and tunnel construction, reservoir construction. These are all the artificial features on the earth. Natural one, that's the valleys, rivers, those are the, hill, those are all the natural features. Artificial features, roads, we are going to construct as per our requirement. Okay. Railways, as per our requirement, we are going to do. Tunnel, same. Reservoir, same. So artificial one. But of course, there may be natural reservoirs also must be there. Okay. And dam constructions, it's not a natural one. It's a man-made. It's an artificial one. We used to construct a dam for a different purpose, for hydroelectricity purpose, or maybe irrigation purpose, or it may be a water supply for the domestics, water supply for the industries, okay, water supply for the agriculture, water supply for the horticulture. For all the purpose, we used to construct a dam. That's for artificial features on the earth. Okay, what is a cadastral survey? What is there in the cadastral survey? To determine the boundaries of field. To determine the boundaries of the field. Either it may be agriculture field, or it may be the reservoir, or it may be taluka boundaries, district boundaries, village boundaries, or it may be your state boundaries, or it may be your what we call that's another one called national boundaries, international boundaries. Right, this is completely comes under cadastral survey. Okay, there are many boundaries are there. So if you take the old the topo sheet, you can see almost all the features. Okay, right. And the city survey, that's a town planning survey to locate premises, streets, water supply, drainage systems. Okay, all those things we are going to comes under the secondary classifications of the survey. Do you understand? Secondary classification of the survey may be based on the instrument, based on the methods, based on the objects, based on the field, nature of the fields. So especially in the topographical survey, you used to take out the survey with the topography. cadastral, that's only for the boundaries. Say for example, in the taluka or it may be in the district level, there will be a government surveying. If you give the application for to come, to do the, what you call land survey, they used to bring with our what you call compass, or it may be chain, or it may be in a GPS, DGPS. Generally, they used to adopt DGPS, differential global positioning systems nowadays. That's a cadastral maps. That's a purely the work on what you call in the government sectors. Okay, and for city survey is for river private as well as the government for that. Okay, survey can be classified into various categories. Depends on methods used and nature of the field that we discussed now. Okay, let's go with a little bit deeper level in the classification of survey based on the instruments. Survey, especially the chain survey, this is the simplest type of survey which is having the linear measurement made with a chain or a tape. Okay, and angular measurement may not be take with that. Okay, that's a one. And compass survey, chain survey, you can see only the the length of the the features, either it may be a road, railway, or it may be a tunnel, or it may be anything. So it gives the only the, there is no angles, cannot measure the angles from the tape or chain. Okay, that's a very simple concept. You may be when you are constructing your house, you may be measured with a tape or it may be chain. Nobody will go for with the chain. We may go with the tape, 30 by 40 side, 30 by 60, 60 40, or it may be 100 by 100 side. So you are going to measure with the feet lead. That's with the tape, not with the chain. Okay. Most of the people are not, common people are not familiar with the chain survey. They are, tape survey. They are familiar with the tape survey, right? So here is the compass survey. This is also not familiar with the many people, the common people. Maybe a geologist is definitely they are familiar with this, and even surveyor. Okay, that may be diploma survey, or it may be be what you call the civil engineering students, or it may be called the professional surveyors, those who are after that Q also. Most of the maybe a 10 20 years back they have recruited in the state government, based on the PU level they recruited the surveyor. Those people also they are using this compass. From the compass, the angles are measured with the help of the magnetic compass. Okay, magnetic or Brenton compass. That we'll show in that later. Okay, and down the plane table surveying. This is how it looks like, the plane table surveying. Okay, this is a tripod, and this is your table, plane table. It is a graphical method of surveying in which fieldworks and plotting both done in the simultaneously. You can observe the features on the surface, measure it, measure the angle, measure the linear features, the length of the features, and you can fix and you can draw it. You can do the interpretation on this table. Okay, right. This is a plane table surveying. Right. Now let's go with the Theodolite survey. It is little bit again the advanced one. You can see the theodolite here. Looks like a very complicated, but it's a very simple one. Very simple one. Okay. Theodolite survey. With the Theodolite survey, horizontal angles are measured, and you can do more precise. Accuracy is more here than the compass and linear measurement. Okay. So the compass and linear measurements are little bit old. Okay, and Theodolite is the advanced one. This is the first one. The instrument after the the revolution of what we call it's a compass and chain survey, tape survey. The next immediate instrument come into the picture, come into the market. That's called a Theodolite surveys. Okay, it gives you the horizontal angles. Okay, measured with the theodolite with a more precise than compass, linear measurement, and the tape or survey. Okay, this is actually there is a highly typical horizontal angle, vertical axis. Okay, all things are inbuilt here. This is the internal typical parts of the this theodolite instrument. Okay, this is a graduated circles you can see here, there, and this horizontal axis, the vertical angles you can check there. Okay, and yeah, so another one is called a tachymetric survey. It's a special type of theodolite known as a tachymeter, and it's used to determine the horizontal and vertical distance indirectly. Here in the theodolite would be in the horizontal angles, but here it's a horizontal and vertical distance, so you can do that. So next one is the leveling survey. What do you mean by leveling survey? Okay, this type of survey generally we used to determine the vertical distance. That's called your elevation. And another terminology we call it as a RL. RL means reduced levels, or you can call it as a MSL, mean sea level. Generally in the survey, especially in the civil survey point of view, it's called a elevations, one thing, and or also you can call it as a reduced level. Okay, and that's called vertical distance of the things, and the relative heights of the points, the help of instruments, is one called a level. You are going to determine the level of different areas. Okay, that's called a leveling survey. With a leveling survey, and also with what you call the angles, you can build up the complete your 3D models, 2D models. Okay, all the maps you can put. And this is called the very latest one actually. And before this, the tachymetry and theodolite. After the theodolite, it may be a total session survey that we are seeing in the there. Total session survey. That's a very inbuilt of all in one. I would say it's all in one. What do you mean by all in one? Means it's having the compass, it's having the the angles, it's having the vertical angle, horizontal angles, the distance. No need to measure with the tape, no need to take the compass. It's all in one. That's called a total station, we call it as. Just you need the ranging rod and your staff, and more precisely you need the prism to get the reflection. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, and that. Okay, and it's a photogrammetric survey. What do you mean by photogrammetric survey? Photogrammetric is a science of taking the measurement with the help of photographs taken by the aerial camera from the aircraft. It's a very simple concept. Photogrammetric surveying. It is just like you are taking the photographs of group of the people that you are taking in the horizontal way. Okay, in the plane view we can see 10 numbers of people, students, your friends are standing there, and you are capturing their image by focusing, by applying the photo, I mean the light. You are capturing their images without physical contact. You are capturing their images like that. You are capturing the images of the earth from the aerial view, from the aircraft, from the drone instrument. You are focusing the required areas, and you are going to capture the photos of the objects of the surface of the earth. That is called a photogrammetric survey. Okay, that is taken from the aircraft. It's a very simple one. You can see this. This is another one. This is the aerial photographs with the aircraft. That's the one thing. And another one, this is a satellite photographs. Okay, this is how we are going to capture the pixel by pixel, or that's maybe the, that's generally photos used to take with the, the photo, you can see the only the, big picture, but when it zoom up, you'll get the pixel levels. That's your clarities. Based on the, methods, classification based on the methods, that's called a triangulation method, is basic method of surveying. When the area to be surveyed in a large, triangulation is adopted. The entire area is divided into a network triangles. I told you this, entire area we need to divide when you are going to do the survey in a large areas. Okay, entire area you need to divide it into a different triangles. Okay, that is called your triangulation survey. And traverse survey means traversing is a circuit of survey lines. It may be a open or closed one. Okay, when the linear survey, linear measurement are done with a chain or with a tape, and directions or horizontal angles measured with a compass. Okay, so if you want to survey the, from Yelahanka to BMSIT college, what you are going to do with it? Road survey, if you want to do this, you have to do the traversing only, right? So while traversing, you will get the, by the tape or by the orb or from the, chain, you will get the distance and elevation. It is not a completely flat. This is undulating topography. So you need the, the angles. Okay, for that horizontal angles, you need the horizontal angles that you can measure with your compass, right? This is how we need to do the survey of traversing. Okay, okay, classification based on the objects that we discussed there. What is the purpose? Geological. I told you this. In this side, both geology, subsurface and surface survey are conducting for different minerals and rocks. How we are going to conduct the subsurface survey? We are going to for the tunneling or for the, metro works or for the underground mines. Maybe you might have seen in the KGF movie, there is underground mines where they are gone with a shaft. Like a shaft is nothing but like your lift. Every day they are getting down into the ship to the deeper level. Okay, there you are going to do the survey, geological survey. What is the, minerals, different rocks in the subsurface, right? Those things we are going to survey with it. In addition to that, geological features of the terrain, such as folds, faults, joints, unconformities. Folds, faults, joints, and unconformities. These are all your geological structures, which you are going to map it. Either maybe in surface or it may be in the subsurface. This is geological survey point of view. And what about in the mine surveying is that mine survey, it includes both same like, surface. So surface and underground surveys. It is conducted for exploration of mineral deposits and also to guide the tunneling and other operation associated with the mining. Okay, this is how the, the classification can be done based on the different. Archaeology, I told you that to locate the relics of antiquity, civilization, kingdoms, for temples. In earlier days, what we did, still most of the temples, or it may be in the hidden, the monuments are there in the subsurface of the earth. Based on the, archaeological data, based on the historical data, the archaeological department is going to do the survey part. That's called an archaeological. There, it has a very, very important and critical application in the militaries. Okay, and aerial surveys are conducted for this purpose generally. Not only now, it's in the, since from beginning also we have to do the, we were doing these, aerial surveys for this purpose. And also it is conducted for the, the strategic positions for the purpose of army operations. Okay? That's called a military survey. Land survey, I told you that it's done to prepare the plans, maps of the given areas, especially the topographical maps, city, cadastral surveys, and some of the example of land survey also. Hydrological survey means it's survey conducted near the body of water body, and such as lakes, water, river, coastal areas. Okay, this type of survey consists of locating the shoreline of water bodies. Okay, change of the shorelines. Why we are conducting the change of the shoreline means every year there will be heavy rain in the coastal areas during the rainy season. That time there will be a lot of coastal erosion will be happening. Due to a flood, there will be coastal erosion there. So for that purpose, you need to do the coastal erosion. Survey for hydrological survey episodes. Okay. Then astronomical surveys. This survey is conducted to determine the latitude and longitude and azimuth, and also to locate the time. This is called for astronomical survey for various places on the earth by observing the heavenly bodies, sun or the stars. This is called your astronomical survey. Okay, right. So, right. Do you understand the classification of survey? Astronomical survey, geological survey, engineering survey, hydrological surveys. Okay, right. And okay, I have the quick question for this session now. It's the quick quiz. Let's go back to that. Okay, if you want to do the survey for tunnel, which instrument you prefer to do the survey? Which one is the best instrument? And which method? Anybody can answer? If you want to do the survey of tunnel. Okay, my second question is that, I can show you the picture of this. It would be better for you to classify the things. Okay, right. So here you can see this. Okay, if you want to do the survey of a road, which is the best method here? Which instrument you can use it?
Theodolite.
Theodolite, yeah, that gives horizontal measurement angles. Yeah, you can do the plane table survey also, but it takes time. Okay, it takes time. Avoiding the plane table survey generally, because setting up the plane table survey takes time. Every time you have to ship that wherever it is the obstacles are there. That's very difficult survive this. So then that is the thing. And for town planning, which method is better?
Photography.
Yes, photography is the best one. You can take the aerial images, or if you have the more budget, you can go for the satellite imageries. Very good satellite imageries you can. So that 2 meter, or you can 4 to 5 meter resolution. Okay, you can get the best images. That means resolution in the sense 4 meter means 4 meter by 4 meter. The object, if it is there on the surface of the earth, the particular place, you can see very clearly, right? So for that we can go for the high resolution data. That's all the photography. First to take the photograph, the satellite imageries, or you can do the aerial photograph, or you can use the drone survey, and you can take the images and you can plan for it. That's the best one. Okay, right. And what about the agriculture land? What type of survey you can do this? Which instrument you can use? Sorry?
Engineering survey.
Yes, engineering survey. And which method you can use? Which instruments? You can adopt a number of methods, but here, which one is a time consuming? Chain and compass time consuming. You can go with the theodolite, or you can go with the tachymetric, or you can go with the total station survey. Okay, right? Or you can go with the differential GPS. because almost all the lands are nowadays, I think I'm not sure exactly, everything is digitized properly. The earlier days, we were not doing that much of digitization part of the entire land. That is only restricted for the town and for a military purpose. But nowadays, the entire land, district level, taluka level, they are, controlled with the latitude, longitudes. Latitude, longitude, generally we use it for very few places. Okay. But nowadays, the entire, land, we have control with the GPS only. That's called a latitude, the latitude, longitude. If you say you were, survey, Pani, or you can call it as, survey number in a district, district officer, survey officer, they will take out easily with yours. Yes, this is about latitude, longitude, or boundary. Okay, this is a very, nowadays digital things has come there, but still they are using the chain or compass at some extent. Compass you required for that, of course. Without compass, that's not an issue. Okay, this is all about the today's the classification of survey methods. So in the next class, we'll go for the what you call units, measurement of units. How we are going to do the measurements with the different units. That's we are going to take out the things there. Okay, and let me take a few opinions of this verse. Anything the others?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me